I can't lie to y'all, bro. It's not looking good for Sean Kingston and his mom right now. Now, if you don't know, him and his mom were indicted by a grand jury back in July on 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 5 counts of actual wire fraud. Right? And in the initial warrant that was issued for him and his mom, they said that from October of 2023 to March of 2024, Kingston and his mom stole nearly $500,000 in jewelry, more than $200,000 from Bank of America, $100,000 from First Republic Bank, $160,000 from a car dealer, and $86,000 from a maker of customized beds, right? That's what the initial warrant was issued for and what the indictment was all about. Now, additional charges would be added onto that. For example, Kingston got accused of stealing a $150,000 television from a micro LED television maker. And why the hell a TV cost $150,000 in the first place is beyond me. But this is what the government was alleging Sean Kingston and his mom had done. In total, it was more than $1 million that was allegedly stole, which led to the police basically pulling the kick door and raiding his mansion that was in Florida, a mansion that his mom was at the time staying in. Now, he wasn't at the mansion when they raided it, but his mom was, so she was arrested.
Dozens of deputies have been going in and out all day long, and now we've learned his mother has been arrested.
And there certainly has been a lot of movement here at this home over the past few hours. Detectives with the Broward Sheriff's Office, they have literally been here on site all day long. As you can see, there is a mobile command post set up just outside of the home, and all of this has to deal with some very pricey equipment that allegedly was never paid for. A high-profile raid underway Thursday at this multi-million-dollar home connected to musician Sean Kingston. According to this court document, a company called Verver Entertainment accuses Kingston of having a $150,000 system installed at the home, but failing to pay for it in full.
We know that our property is inside this house right here. Basically a sales pitch that he goes through to defraud people. He's never paid my client for this $150,000 television.
More than a dozen deputies with the Broward Sheriff's Office carried out the raid on the Southwest Ranches property, carrying boxes of evidence and even large pieces of something that was kept under wraps. At one point, a Bentley SUV was towed away from the home. We've learned the recording artist's mother, who drives this vehicle, was also here but arrested. Janice Turner is now in the process of being booked on numerous fraud and theft charges. And it's unclear if Kingston himself will be facing any criminal charges directly tied to this incident.
Now, it was only unclear if Sean Kingston was going to face charges himself for a couple of hours, because within 3 or 4 hours, they had arrested him as well. Now, he was arrested in Fort Irwin, which is an Army training base located in the Mojave Desert. I guess he was doing a show there, and while he was getting ready to perform, they moved in and made the arrest on him as well. Now, he didn't really speak on this happening other than a post that he eventually deleted from Instagram. They said, "People love negative energy. I'm good, and so is my mother. My lawyers are handling everything as we speak." And just based on that statement, if you took it at face value, you might think, you know what, this could just be a simple mistake that was made. It could just be a big deal being made out of nothing, right? Well, not really, because as it turns out, Kingston was already on probation, serving a 2-year sentence for, guess what, trafficking stolen property. Not only that, his mom was arrested and pleaded guilty all the way back in 2006 to committing bank fraud for stealing over $160,000, and she served almost 2 years in prison. So this ain't even the first time that these two been involved in this type of activity, which, I mean, this wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a mother-son crime duo taking place, but as far as I know, this is the first time that we've seen a mother-son crime duo that were rich. I mean, this dude literally had a place in Florida that is a literal mansion. Bro's had a ton of hit records in his career. It's just mind-boggling to me. But I mean, I guess this is why financial literacy is so important. Or maybe they're financially literate and they are just also criminals. Because after he was arrested, the people that he quote unquote scammed started speaking out, and they said that he was doing things like name dropping Justin Bieber in order to negotiate a better deal for himself, right? And that mixed with the previous criminal history, bro, it just don't look good. So when he initially went to court and it was was time to figure out if he would be able to bond out, the judge set a bond amount at $90,000. Now that may seem a bit extreme, but y'all gotta remember, Kingston and his mom, they're facing state charges and federal charges, right? They got state charges for the theft and things like that. They got federal charges for wire fraud. So when the judge was determining what the bond should be set at, he set it at $90,000.
John Kingston back in Broward, and his latest soundtrack sounds like this.
Organized scheme to defraud, criminal use of personal identification, grand theft, fraud, insufficient funds check.
The judge reading off a laundry list of his charges after he was arrested in California, where he was performing and brought back to South Florida to face allegations of fraud, more than $1 million worth.
And Mr. Anderson allegedly committed these offenses while on probation in the state of California for trafficking in stolen property.
Somebody call 911. His mother is also facing those charges, accused of using his name to get luxury goods released to them. And then once they'd get it, investigators say they just wouldn't pay. They'd even name drop other celebrities like Justin Bieber to get discounts. New video dropped on World Star Hip Hop's YouTube page using local tent footage of the raid and the arrests to give him street cred, I suppose.
Now, bro did eventually make bond, and he's been pending trial ever since, which leads us into this next footage, which is kind of funny footage. It's just Sean Kingston and his mom coming out of court, but when they see the news cameras, they start like running away. Bro, y'all just have to see the footage. Look at this.
Sean, it looks ridiculous running like that, man. Come on. You didn't need to run like that. Come on. Put that up.
Man, what the hell his mama got going on, bro? What are they doing, bro? Bro, come out the courtroom yelling, talking about, man, I swear you can't make this stuff up, y'all. Anyways, with all of that laid out and said, Sean Kingston and his mom actually just finished appearing in court to face these fraud charges and enter a verdict, and they decided that they were gonna plead not guilty to these charges. They requested a jury trial and also requested that the prosecutors hand over any documentation and things like that that they may have against the mom and son duo. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the key moments from that.
Sir, where you going? Yeah, have a seat. Make sure your phones are turned off. Use your phones outside. Thank you.
All right, we're on the record. Anybody ready with anything? Bueller, anybody? Mr. Anderson, what was the original bond on count 9? Here, I can look it up if you need me to.
I believe it was 10,000.
Was count 9 originally a grand theft?
No, it's a worthless check.
Issue a worthless check.
Yeah, here's one that has, it's showing power number 100-83301. And that was for issuing fraudulent checks, insufficient fund check, and the bond was $10,000. So then I would make the bond on, we'll get to this in a second. Now on Ms. Turner, I assume count 9 was going to be the same on hers?
It is, Judge. I can probably short circuit this little. We've had discussions with Kathy Heaven, who's the prosecutor on this case, and she's agreed that they should be ROR on the change of charge and the act charge.
All right. You got an agreement? You got an agreement?
Yes. And Susan, I think, can confirm.
That is correct. Yes, I
All right. I've got about ask the bond. A couple of questions here.
Yes.
And what bond company are you with? Okay. You're aware of the change of charge from KPS's?
Yes.
Okay. Are you willing to remain on the remaining bonds, knowing that these change of charge and add charge are going ROR?
Yes, sir.
And you're willing to remain on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, let me say this. The subsequent to the arrest on this case, the U.S. Attorney's Office indicted them, so we have that, and it's essentially the conduct that is encompassed by this case. So,
What's the state gonna do? They haven't made the decision yet? You gonna punt to the feds or not?
No, as far as I'm aware, we're going forward.
Okay.
The feds do whatever they do.
All right, so what the judge is trying to do right there, he's just confirming the bond amount. There was a change in one of the charges, and so he was just confirming with the bondsman that he was willing to still stand behind the bond, because in order to get out of jail, you got to pay that bail bondsman. So he's just confirming with the bail bondsman that he was willing to still have his name on the line for Sean Kingston to be free. And then you can hear the attorney bring up kind of like a double jeopardy thing. He's like, look, this client's being charged by the state, but he's also being charged by the feds for the same conduct that's basically encompassed in this case. Kind of hinting at a double jeopardy thing, but you heard the state prosecutor say, look, I don't know nothing about that. We're prosecuting him. Let the feds do whatever the feds want to do. That ain't got nothing to do with us. We're prosecuting him.
Sure, we'll have motions addressing the state prosecution.
All right, that's fine. So what kind of time frame are you looking at? You looking for next year? My next date is October 11th. You tell me.
well, let's set it for October 11th, and if we need to push it, we'll file a motion.
All right, we'll set it for a calendar call on October 11th. Mr. Anderson, Ms. Turner, I need you to remain. You have to be served with this. They're ROR, so there is no affidavit.
Okay, Judge.
And don't leave it out to notice the calendar call. We'll see you on October 11th. Mr. Machado, can you come down here for a moment, please?
Yeah, and that's pretty much all that happened in this court day. I know it was simple, wasn't nothing really crazy about the court appearance this go around, but you heard the judge say that they are scheduled for October the 11th, so that's when we'll get the next update. We know that he's pled not guilty and all that, but yeah, bro, so that's where we're at now. If they're convicted on these charges, both of them face up to 20 years in prison, which is a whole lot of time. So I guess we would just have to wait and see. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about it in the comments down below. Anyways, that's basically it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. As always, it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I'm out.